Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Tower of God Chapter 601, or Season 3, Episode 184. Excited to read, but before I do, hopefully not a super crazy long intro, but I wanted to talk about a couple things. First, I wanted to talk about a bunch of other One Piece YouTube channels, so in order to do so, I want to link everybody, so I'll be probably putting a huge long list of links in the comments and or description. And again, super sorry if I forget anybody, if I leave anybody out here, but I just want to talk about some things there, and I also I guess, wanted to talk about Mirchea and Yurik and the current stuff going on in Tower of God. So yeah, let me try to remember everything as I work through this. So if you didn't see it, earlier this week I did the top 100 characters by screen time for chapter 600. It was a project that I worked so long on, and actually I remembered the second thing I wanted to talk about what was going on currently in these chapters. I will talk about that too really quick before I start, but it's actually my next big Tower of God project. It's something that I kind of wanted to keep a little bit under wraps until I was ready to start posting it, because it's going to be maybe my biggest, longest project to date. I can't imagine the video isn't going to be hours long. But I will go ahead and just say what I'm going to do, since it feels like so much of what I was working on in regard to Tower of God related stuff was building up to chapter 600. I was just like, oh yeah, screen time video is going to be chapter 600, and I'm just working on stuff toward that, and now that I'm through with that, there's been another really big project on my mind that I really want to do, and I'm going to start work on that this week. But before talking about that, the screen time video, I'm excited. I know some other Tower of God YouTubers have already said they're going to be reacting to it. I know Nya said he'll probably be doing it Tuesday. Again, I'll share all of this whenever they do. Nya probably will Tuesday. I think next week when he does his reaction, Dr. Bonehead might be doing it. So again, I'll link both of them. I'll link Cann, because I think we may be doing stuff in the future with like all the other Tower of God creators. So there's all of that. And I have been talking the past few weeks. This ties into stuff that I wanted to say about Mirchea and Mazino and all of this when I talk about these next few. I've said over the past couple of weeks that I've been watching Aimy Angel live, and I've been really enjoying her live streams. She is Dr. Bonehead's wife. I hate saying that about people. That sounds so reductive. She does her own stuff, and it's very good too, but I like that her reactions do include Joe, that they do include Dr. Bonehead, because just having somebody there who's already read to kind of answer questions, or sometimes when she's like, what does this mean? And he's like, and she's like, is it explained later? Having somebody to say if it is explained later or not is like really helpful, and it actually really improves the quality of the streams. I think, again, their stuff is really good. And in addition to watching the weekly streams, I'm always looking for stuff to listen to while I'm just working and doing random stuff. So I've been listening to some of the old reaction streams that I missed, that I didn't get to watch at the time, and going through some of those have reminded me of some things that I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to shout out that, because I've really been enjoying Aimy Angel stuff. I wanted to shout out Animosity, because Animosity has been doing this for so long now. Animosity has been doing this for a while and is still stuck at 500 subs, and I'm the type of person, I don't even tell you guys to sub to me if you don't want to. I always throw it at the end of the video, because I hate when people like front load their content with that kind of stuff. But yeah, show Animosity some love, because he's been doing this on this grind for so long. And I don't know if this depends on where you live, but at least from my perspective, you can't even get monetized if you don't have like 1,000 subs and 5,000 hours a year. So it's like you're going through this big grind, and he's not even getting anything out of it. I don't know if that means that YouTube won't put ads on your video, or if they do put ads on your video but you don't actually get money from it, because there's been some conflicting reports on that in the past. But I just wanted to shout out Animosity, who's been doing this for a long time, and who has been doing this for a long time, has just really been on that grind, and I think doesn't really get enough recognition. And the big reason I wanted to go on this whole thing is I wanted to shout out Pyro Prima. I'll bring up his channel. Hold on, I have it here somewhere. I'm doxing some of my subscriptions here, but I wanted to bring up Pyro Prima because Pyro Prima's been reacting to Tower of God for 10 months, and I just now discovered him. I did not know he existed before this week, because while I was working on the screen time video this week, I was like, I'm going to listen to, because sometimes I'll go back and rewatch some of the reactions to some of my old stuff. And doing that also kind of helped me to see what I need to change for the future for trying to make the chapter 600 video better. So I was like, I'm gonna listen to Nya's reaction to the 500 thing while I'm working on this. And when I was searching up in YouTube to find it, one of my search results was Pyro's reaction. And I was like, I've never even heard of him. How? And since then, I have marathoned through. I'm already on season 2 of Pyro's reactions, and they're really, really good. I really enjoy Pyro stuff, so I wanted to shout him out. Only at 420 subs, despite being at this Tower of God stuff and doing good reactions for 10 months. Yeah, so I just wanted to shout out Pyro. Go show him some love as well, because I've really enjoyed his stuff that I've been marathoning through over the past week. Also does tons of One Piece stuff. As I'm sitting here looking, I'm just thinking, for a One Piece channel, having Caribou and Moria as your header characters is quite a choice. But, yeah, I just wanted to shout out all these people. And seeing some of their old reactions reminded me of some stuff. So now let's get back to Tower of God. Let's go over here to Tower of God. Let me pull up the chapter, and I will talk about some of the stuff that watching both Amy's old streams and Pyro's stuff kind of reminded me of. So as of last week, I started calling Luzlek Mirchea, and I'll probably stick with that from now on. I mean, it makes sense that maybe I should have already been doing that, given that, you know, the middle name is typically the given name in Tower of God. But what really set me on that last week is that I didn't remember this at the time, but there are 2 scenes I remembered throughout early season 2 that Mirchea had been name dropped a few times, but I didn't really remember the details. Who can remember all of the details? So I just usually called him Luzlek a lot, but going back, seeing some of those reactions when Ha Jinsung first meets up with Bomb's team after they, after Team Sweet and Sour first gets together, when they first meet Huaruyun and Jinsung, all of that stuff at the very beginning of season 2. After that, when Bomb is up on the roof and Jinsung talks to him, Jinsung's like, oh, I like your team, I'll tell Mirchea about your team and everything. And he calls him Mirchea there, and then later on at the end of Workshop Battle, when he talks to Karaka, he also talks about Mirchea to Karaka, and he calls him Mirchea there. So since Jinsung called him by Mirchea multiple times, and that's the name he went with, that's why I started going with that. So I did want to bring that up before I started. And I also wanted to say the next video I'm working on also relates to me watching some of the stuff from these other creators. So for those of you who have been reading Tower of God for a really long time, you probably already know this, but back before the days of the line translation, we got the blog posts at the end of each chapter. So the end of each chapter was like this extra bit of lore, this extra bit of content, this context for what was going on that I think is really key in a lot of places. A lot of it's been proven to not be so much anymore, but I still think, even if it's been proven false at this point, it's still helpful for context given how much of it is proven not false in comparison. And I think it's really, really important to just know as a Tower of God fan. And so it kind of bums me out sometimes when I watch all these amazing reactions and I'm like, it kind of hurts me a little bit that they're missing what was a big chunk of the excitement as a reader back then. What was a big chunk of the story as a reader back then. So one thing that I want to do for my next project, now that I'm done with the chapter 600 screen time stuff, is I want to go through all of CU's Twitter. I am just going to go through all of his Twitter ever, all of CU's blog, all of it ever, and everything like that that I can find. And I'm going to compile every important thing, if it's even like a teeny bit important. I'm going to put all information regarding Tower of God and its lore from CU's blog and Twitter, and compile that into a video. And to do all of that, like, I have no idea how long that video would have to be. It might even have to be 3 or 4 hours for all I know. But that is my next big project that I plan to start work on, is to go through all of the blog posts, all of Zu's Twitter, and collect all of the important information that I can possibly find. Not even important information, all of the information that I can possibly find, and put it all together in one video, something that can be really helpful as a refresher to old viewers, or old readers rather, of Tower of God, and something that can be really instrumental and helpful in new people getting into the series who maybe don't have the time or resources to go looking at all of the blog posts ever and searching through them for relevant information. I would just be happy to provide a place where people could just have all of the relevant information in one video. So that is my next big video project. I really, really want to do that. It's something that I thought about around a month ago, and I've been really feeling the passion towards, but I really wanted to wait until I got done with the screen time stuff first. So yeah, super long normal Haku intro aside, I just wanted to really give shout outs to all of those amazing people in the Tower of God community. I'm certain there's probably people that I've left out that are also really amazing, but those are just like the current, you know, reactors really, that I wanted to talk about, and people that have been, you know, a part of what I have been watching and a part of what I have been doing recently and will be doing in the future when I watch Nya and Joe's and anybody else who does any reactions to the screen time stuff. But with all that out of the way, let's actually start reading. I already mentioned me going by Mirchea for his name now. I think the stuff between him and Mazino is really great. It's very interesting that we have spent 2 chapters on this. We haven't seen what's going on with all of our other characters in a while, and especially doing the screen time stuff and seeing a lot of these other characters, I'm like, man, I miss Novik's team. I miss the group that we just had in Season 3 that went to the snow forest, but I don't believe I don't think we're seeing them for a bit. I don't know how they get wrapped back into the story right now, but I love Hatsu and Chibisu. I love Elaine and Hockney, and to not have them around is like, it's a little bit of a bummer. And also, yeah, we haven't seen that in a while, and I got to thinking as well about, I always say that I'm like, to me, the family head that makes the most sense dying is Gustang. To me, Gustang is somebody who, what he wants to do is bring the memories back, bring the truth out to the tower and everything. And in doing so, if he dies in doing so, it's like this noble sacrifice and everything, trying to right the wrongs of the past. And I think that makes for a really good story. But every time I say it, everybody's like, nah, it makes more sense for Traumerei to die, and I don't really have a rebuttal. It does, like, I don't know, as much as I think that story-wise it would be a more impactful story for Gustang to die, it just feels more like the story's leading to Traumerei dying, and what it got me thinking about was, if Traumerei dies, a chunk of the tower's infrastructure is screwed, right? Because the 10 families rule over these floors for the most part. So to take the floors that the Lopobia families rule, all of the area of the tower that they rule, and just say, you know, it's not happening anymore, takes out a chunk of the infrastructure, because I don't see how the Lopobia family really stays together. Because let's say Traumerei gets taken out, then it's either the Lopobia family goes to Kirin or to Lobadan, and either way, it's kind of screwed. Because let's say it goes to Kirin. Kirin has been shady. Kirin has been selling the Lopobia family out in order to take control of it. So even if the other members of the Lopobia family decide to be loyal to Kirin, Kirin worked with Revolution, who is clearly like anti-Zahard, anti-10 families in the fact that they want to upturn the system and have the next generation take over. So the other family heads, and Zahard himself, shouldn't have any reason to like Kirin. Like, the other family heads are like, this guy's a family head now. It doesn't make sense for them to like Kirin. And then, let's say Kirin gets taken out. Let's say Traumerei dies, but so does Kirin. Then it goes to Lobadan. Most of the Lopobia family doesn't seem that, loyal to Lobadan. So Kirin has at least been the one running the family's day-to-day activities. Lobadan's been in charge of the Lopobia family's military, but he hasn't been in charge of the family's day-to-day activities. Lobadan doesn't really have this connection to all of them as a leader, even if most of them probably might look up to him. And also the big thing with Lobadan that's even harder to justify for him taking over the Lopobia than Kirin is that Lobadan has outright said he's not loyal to Zahard. So Zahard and the other 10 families are really gonna not like this guy. He straight up said he's loyal to Traumerei. He's not loyal to Zahard. He's even willing to work with FUG if it means doing what he thinks is best for Traumerei. He isn't even doing what Traumerei told him to do. He's doing what he wants because he thinks that it is what's best for Traumerei. So even if Traumerei gets taken out, Lobadan takes over the family, it's like, does Lobadan even want to lead? Lobadan's loyal to Traumerei. What does Lobadan do without Traumerei? Because without him, it's not like he all of a sudden would be like, guess I'm loyal to Zahard now. It just seems like, I don't know what happens there. I do not know where the story goes in that context. But either way, I've spent a monumental time on this intro. Let's actually get to read. I hope you all enjoyed the intro. I hope you got something out of it. I'm sorry it was so long, but I really did have a lot that I wanted to talk about before reading, because I've just been taking in and consuming so much Tower of God. I've been consuming so much of it that it's really made me have a lot of thoughts bouncing around. In addition to that, something else I forgot to even say, I thought of a theory video for Tower of God last week, but I was like, I'm in the middle of working on this screen time video. So now that that's done, I think this week I'll probably make a theory video. So yeah, you have more Tower of God stuff coming. But either way, let's read here. So we're starting off presumably where we ended last time. I simply destroy the spell before it even has time to spread, and what is going on here? Okay, is this, it might be in my mouse. Okay, things are scrolling all right now. The thing, it was scrolling really weird. It seemed like it was all choppy, because that's how fucking strong I am. I did see, because of watching Nya's reaction to last chapter, the I think dropping the F-bomb is stronger here. And why censor it? We have like bloody gory stuff. Why are we censoring simple curse words? But either way, we get to see what's next. Enkidu 1. What on earth is an Enkidu? Sigh? Sorry, hiccup. That isn't good. Just the crossed arms. I love Mirchea's personality. It makes me want to see his interactions with Bomb so much. Because especially stuff like Jinsung being like, oh, I'm gonna tell Mirchea about your teammates and everything. And the way he's kind of like laid back and chill. I think it'd be really funny to see him just like as this doting uncle or father figure toward Bomb. Like really overprotective like Jinsung was in the early days of Season 2. I think it'd be really funny to see him in scenes with Bomb. Why do you sound so worried? You haven't already shown everything you've got, have you? No, I still have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. But doesn't it seem strange that someone can punch through a spell like that? I mean, it's kind of an irregular thing, it would seem. Is that guy even human? Strongest human ever? I don't really want to fight someone with such an unfair advantage. But you don't want to turn back either, do you, Lord Luslick? What Lord Grace seeks is almost within reach now. Okay? And it's weird that they call him Lord Luslick and then Lord Grace. I wonder if this is a weird translation thing, or if it's almost like it's almost like Lord Luslick and Lord Grace. Is that two different sides of the face, maybe? That's kind of a weird sentence. No, of course you're right. I just don't feel like fighting anymore. What the heck are you talking about? Then what are you going to do? Are you going to fight are you going to fight me properly now? And I feel like I've been thinking for weeks that this fight has to just end with them being like, yeah, we're not going to fight all out because we can't see all that yet. But it's like, how is that going to happen? Is he just going to leave? Or will you give up on going to the arena and leave? I'm not sure. Let me ask you something first. What is it? I want the 10 great family leaders dead. And you don't. That's why you came here. And before we began this battle, you said you're after a different kind of prey. According to your own stated purpose, you shouldn't be hunting anyone here. Oh, Tower of God breakdown theorist Mirchea here. Okay, this is exciting. So who in the world did you come here to find? And is it going to have something to do with that, like, shade or whatever that Traumerei saw when he was leaving the labyrinth? Come on, you're the head of FUG. Are you just pretending not to know that? Or do you really not know? And if the 10 family heads all had their memories sealed, does Luzlek have all of his memories? Anyway, there's a third party involved in this war. I'm not exactly sure what their goal is, but one thing I know for certain is that they want the 10 great family heads to fall in the arena. Is that revolution? If so, is Enkidu the head of revolution? Is Enkidu the boss, Daijang, captain, whatever? You knew that much, right? Well, I do, at least. That's why I'm asking this. Do you know who exactly those people are? I'm afraid I can't just give away valuable information like that. In case you haven't noticed, we're not really buddies. That face. But there is one thing I can tell you. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, the screen record was capturing the right thing. I got paranoid that I messed up something. But there is one thing I can tell you. Whoever the people involved in this war are, they're my prey. Okay, I see. Very well. Then I guess that's that. You and I really are enemies after all. Really? That's not where I thought that would go. They're enemies. So whoever's involved with the war, Luzlek is cool with them. You'd think... Well, I guess whoever's involved with the war is leading toward the death of the family heads, so I guess Luzlek would be maybe okay with that, but I don't know, it just seems suspicious to me. So let's fight. Sounds good. Let's get this over with. But this isn't the time or place for it. What? I'd like to keep fighting you, but I can't afford to delay any longer. And then, is he going to use some sort of... Is he going to ultra warp Yurik out of there or something? What the? The space just... That's all the time I have for you, I have for you at the moment. I'll see you in the arena. Although, to be honest, Bright, I wish I never had to see you again. And it's almost... At first I couldn't tell, is it supposed to look like origami pieces or shards of glass? And then light charge. Is that what he's saying? No, bright charge. And it's all shattering. So it is like glass. And he's falling into the world of darkness. When my dark charge is deactivated by force, it creates a temporary blank space around those trapped in it. Alright? We're isolated from each other as long as you're in that space. In other words, you can't catch me. If you keep getting in the way of our mission, someone's going to have to die. Is this? And honestly, if we were to fight for real, what? I feel like I could be... I'd win him. Oh my god. Is this a Luzlek W? Is this Mirchea, in a way, beating Mazino? That is... I thought that they were not going to reach any kind of, like, decisive conclusion. They were just going to go their separate ways. Or if somebody did win, it would obviously have to be Yurik. But are we... Like, that's the real shocker. That's the dark twist. If Mirchea got the W. Insane. What did you just say? You arrogant little prick. Mirchea... I've been saying Mirchea is him, like, in a joking but also trying to hype him up kind of way, but Mirchea might actually quite legitimately be him. What on earth? I did not expect that. Okay, or is he just punching out of it? Vice Commander, what happened? Everything suddenly turned white and they disappeared. So, it seemed like it even affected the people in that ship, that he just maybe froze them for a bit while the rest of them escaped. Oh, I think he was buying time to get away. He's gone. He sure is a quick runner. That is a... Running away is winning. That's a Wuzlek W. He sure is a quick run. That's insane. I did not expect that. I cannot stop smiling because this is not at all, not in my wildest dreams how I thought that confrontation would end. Insanity. And honestly, if we were to fight for real, I feel like I could beat you. That jerk. That's a lot of big talk for someone who just ran away. So what's the plan now, Vice Commander? I didn't expect the head of FUG to get involved in this. Isn't it obvious what we need to do? But sir, the commander told us not to cause any problems with FUG. Okay. So, Baekryun. I keep saying Baekryun, but it might just be Baekryun. I don't know what characters they use. But he told them not to cause problems with FUG. We were only avoiding those FUG pricks out of disgust, not fear. This simply adds one more target to our list of prey to hunt down. We're heading over to the arena as planned. He gets on the ship. Come on. I want to see more Hikesong members so much. Okay, but can you at least get inside the ship first? We can't go very fast if you're standing on top of it. FUG floating carrier. Okay, we have the ship here. Phew, he flops back down on the throne. That guy's so tiring to deal with. How could you run away from a fight like that? You're the head of FUG. Just like, that was disgraceful. And Karnak. Hey, easy there. We don't stand to gain anything from fighting him anyway. By the way, when you told Yurik Mazino you could beat him in a fight, were you just provoking him, or did you mean it? I probably meant it, but I'm not sure. I thought of a few ways to beat him, but not even I know exactly how deep the ocean is. Arena location, the Sprout. That was incredible. Yurik versus Mirchea might have been one of the best fights in Tower of God. It was really well choreographed. The writing surrounding it was really good. It was really fun in terms of both of them having really fun banter with each other. We got to see kind of some of the heights of the world, two of the strongest possible characters. And in addition to that, it ends on one of the most shocking, surprising, intriguing notes that I never, ever would have predicted for it. Like, again, I would have thought maybe Luzlek gets wasted as a character and Mazino just wins. Probably, most likely, they just go their separate ways. But to have it end like this, and to have more questions with what Mazino brought up about how spells work, with what Mirchea is saying about, like, I don't know how deep the ocean is and everything, it added so much to the story. That's crazy. That's so good. That was so good. That was some of the best stuff in Tower of God. And I feel like I've just been saying that so much in the world of the post-hiatus. That is some of the best stuff in Tower of God. And I find it so funny that, you know, a few months ago, the people in Discord and everything are so amazing about not spoiling anything, but I can see from like what they're saying without spoiling anything that everybody was so excited a couple months ago for like the 5.99 onward chapters. And they've been really excited. But then like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it feels like they were like, it's like bipolar. They're just going back and forth. It seems like, what's CU doing? But oh no, this is, we judge too soon. And then again, what is CU doing? So I'm really excited to see where things go. The arena location, the Sprout. Congratulations on making it this far. We're getting back to what Bomb's group is doing. Although you've only reached the entrance. Who's that? I imagine, yeah, none of them, well, except like, obviously the Popedal members, would really even particularly know Bellerir. I imagine you're all curious to know who I am, so allow me to introduce myself. I'm in charge of Popedal's forces in this war. My name is Popedal Bellerir. I would like to tell you all. Sorry, I've read too much Peak. My literacy is slipping. I would now like to tell you all, Second in Command Bellerir, how to reach the arena. Or maybe I'm just becoming a high ranker, because we all know high rankers are illiterate. They can't count. And oh man, that's something else. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. One quick tangent. When I was watching Aimy Angel's reactions to the early Hell Train stuff, it hit me that I was like, it's so funny. White had that I hate counting to numbers higher than 3 moment, and the test that they needed to get into the room where Joaquin was basic addition, and all of the guys like Daniel are like, I can't figure this out, and like Yuan Wangnan are like, I can't do it. Meanwhile, Wabian's like, it's basic addition, guys. What's the tower's educational system like? So I love that the basic addition problem was the way to unlock the door to Joaquin, which is a good way to prevent White from being resurrected, apparently, because he can't count. So I loved that. When I got back to that, I thought that was so funny. I was like, foreshadowing? We foreshadowed White's inability to math? How to reach the arena. I can tell you're all excited to fight, so I'm sorry to say this, but on your way from the entrance to the arena, we just have the dead apes. Or would you like to play a little game that I'm going to suggest? Okay, everything's a game, Tower of God. A game? What's he up to now? A game. These little creatures have forgotten their place just because I deigned to fight them for a moment. I didn't come here for some silly game. Step aside. I'm going to meet Gustang and take what I want. Then I'll head back as though nothing ever happened. And he's just flexing the Shinsu. Right? I can't control my body, and he's actually lifting them all. I lost control of the Bong Bong, too. So, honestly, this seems like it would be just a more insane version of reverse flow control, just literally grabbing them with the Shinsu around them. He's so powerful. I don't think anything I do will have any effect on him. What should I do? Should I accept his help, like Leviathan said? Please, calm down, Lord Traumerei. I didn't think you would get so angry. We've prepared exactly what you wanted. What? Perhaps you've already forgotten about it. But the animal that tormented you for so long is in here. What? Okay. What was its name again? Enkidu! Okay. So Enkidu is trapped within the place where they're supposed to be playing chess. Right? Enkidu? Are we ending on that? Okay. Blank died because of that monster. Alright. Is that going to be his first wife? One of his children? Somebody died because of that monster. Enkidu, it's your fault. Oh my god! This is hype. We have Traumerei actually looking like he did in the name hunt panel. That's incredible. If that's him, which I'm assuming, that's so good. Like, if that's Traumerei, not Enkidu, we actually have Traumerei looking like he did. That's so good. It's your fault that this happened to him, Traumerei. Yes! That's so cool. Because for a long time, it's like, did that panel mean anything? But now it does, baby. Oh, I love that. And our first shot of Traumerei without the mask. Man, this chapter, I feel miserable. I'm going to erase this memory. Heat. Absolute blistering heat. Whoops, literally clicked the wrong thing. I was trying to remove the overlay so you could see the credits, and I hit stop recording. So, my bad. Sorry about that. But, wow, that was incredible. One of the best chapters we've had. And so, I say this every chapter. This is so good. The ending to Yurik and Mirchea is better than anything I would have predicted. Better than anything I would have guessed. It adds so much for us to think about, for us to question moving forward with the lore. It's surprising, because who would have thought that Mirchea would be able to get the upper hand and run away? Wow. That is nuts, and it adds so much mystery. We get to see Traumerei's face for the first time in the same chapter that all happened. This is nuts. We have Traumerei before he looked like he does now, when he looked like he did in the name hunt panel. This is incredible. This is some of the best stuff in the entire series. I'm blown away. I'm speechless. I talked a lot throughout the reaction, so I'll end it here. We can continue to talk if you want to, like if you did like the video. Check out all those other people that I'm going to link, hopefully, unless I forget, in which case forgive me, because if I forget, I will then remember when I am reminded, and then I'll link them. But yeah, we can continue talking in the comments if you want to. We can talk on Twitter or on Discord if you want. The Discord server is free and open for anyone. All you got to do is ask, and I'll give you a link to it. Anything else? I guess if you'd like to help support the channel to help me to continue to make videos, you can drop a super thanks if you want to. It's like a super chat, but for comments, but yeah, it's whatever. Or if you want One Piece a bit early, if you want to help support the channel and get a shout out at the end of every video, then you can hit join down below to become a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. It really is extremely appreciated because it does help so much. I mean, I mentioned before not getting ads unless you have that certain amount of, you know, whatever each year. But aside from that, it's not like a channel as small as mine is really getting much of anything from ads anyway. So really the channel is built upon the backs of these patrons and members. So thank you extremely so much to them. Thank you so much to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, to Magical Girls, Efronono, Smeller Dog and Abyss Knight, Cheriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SGN Stance Eater, and Pure Element Patiardi Owl. Thank you so much to them. Thank you to all of you for watching, for being a part of this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.